Hi everyone, it's me Lina again. Welcome to my YouTube channel and thank you a lot for checking my videos out. And today in this video I would like to read you a bedtime story from this book. I already picked a story for you, so let's just get them. There are lots of interesting stories in this book about pride, trickery, greed and so on. And in the end of each of them there is moral, so I would say that it is quite educative. It teaches you something. So the story I'm gonna read today is called The Hare and the Tortoise. Here it is, so I'll just start reading if you don't mind. It was a blustery March day with a wild wind whooshing through the trees, shaking down the daffodils and scattering petals here, there and everywhere. The hare stood for a moment on the hill, and then, just for the fun of it, he was off, racing across the field, thumping and leaping as fast and as wild as the wind itself. At the edge of the field, by a sandy path, a group of animals stood watching as he bounded toward them. "Oh, Hare!" murmured Mole. "How quickly you run! So swift!" cried Wall. "So graceful!" said Squirrel. "If only I could run as fast as you," added Mole admiringly. Hare puffed himself out and looked proud. "It's true," he said, frisking about on the spot. "No one is faster than me." Someone gave a dry, raspy chuckle. "Who dares to laugh?" snapped Hare. Everyone turned to see Tortoise creeping his way towards them, ancient and scaly and slow. "You could never beat me," said Hare, his whiskers twitching in irritation. "I could try," said Tortoise. There was a stunned silence. Hare gasped. "Well, then you're on," he said at last. "I'll see you here in the exact spot next Tuesday. That should give you time to train. After all, I want to give you a chance. We'll race across the field and back." Tortoise shook his wrinkled head. "Let's make the race longer," he suggested. "We could go through those woods along the winding river all the way to the great oak tree on the hill." "Huh," said Hare. "I'll leave you for dust. See you later, slow coach." And with a flick of his back legs, Hare was off through the long grass, here one moment, gone the next. The other animals looked at Tortoise pityingly. "Poor old thing," they murmured. What was he thinking? They shook their heads at him. "Just you wait," said Tortoise, unperturbed. "Just you wait and see." The day of the race dawned. It was sunny and warm, and all the woodland animals had come out to watch, crowding around the starting line. The birds chirruped excitedly from their branches, while young rabbits and squirrels squeaked and squealed as they squeezed their way to front to get a better view. Tortoise waited patiently for the race to begin, but Hare couldn't help performing for the crowd. He jumped and twirled in the air, springing up and down, showing off with glee. An oval stood before them, one wing raised in the air. "I'll start the countdown," she hooted over the commotion. "As soon as I lower my wing, the race can begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the animals joined in the chant, and as Oval lowered her wing, Hare shot off in the cloud of dancing dust. Tortoise crept forward a few paces, stopped, coughed, and crept on again. "Come on, Tortoise," everyone shouted, feeling sorry for him. By now, Hare was no more than a black dot in the distance, bounding away to the woods. "I'm going to win! Oh yeah, I'm going to win!" Hare sang to himself as he leaped along the path. The breeze rippled through his fur, and as he ran, he felt at one with the woods and the wind and the tone of spring urging him on and on. Ahead lay the winding river, and just beyond, on the brow of the hill, the great oak tree. Hare looked back through the woods, but there was no sign of Tortoise. "This isn't really a race at all," he huffed. "Tortoise doesn't stand a chance. Where is the fun in that?" Hare stopped running and lolloped along by the river for a while, lazily sniffing the fresh spring air, drinking in the scent of the river and the wild flowers. He yawned and stretched. Perhaps thought Hare. I should have a little nap. After all, Tortoise will be hours and hours. Then at least I can race him to the finish line. So Hare found a soft, warm spot beside the path, closed his eyes, and drifted off into a pleasant doze. And as he dozed, he dreamed of all the races he had ever won, and all the ones he was going to win. Meanwhile, Tortoise plodded on. It was a slow work carrying his heavy shell on his back, but he kept moving his stumpy legs, one in front of the other. By the time he left the woods, it was afternoon, the sun slipping down behind the trees. As he made his way along the winding river, the light began to fade. A glorious sunset streaked across the sky. "Come on, Tortoise," shouted the animals at the finishing line. "You can do it. You can win." Tortoise allowed himself the glimmer of a smile, bent his head, and hurried himself up the hill. "We don't understand," said the moles and the wolves. "Where is Hare? Whatever could have happened to him?" "Who knows?" squeaked the mice. "We want Tortoise to win," added the rabbits. "Look how hard he's trying." And they squealed in excitement, urging Tortoise on. The noise drifted down the hill to Hare's ears. They twitched. He opened his eyes, leaped up, and looked around. "Oh no!" he cried. "It's nearly night. I've been asleep all this time. The race! The race!" He set off for the finishing line and saw to his horror the Tortoise was nearly there. "No!" cried Hare. "He can't win. This can't be happening." Hare ran faster than he'd ever run in his life. Bounding up the hill, ears pinned back, he raced after Tortoise, determined to beat him, determined to win. Slowly, slowly, Tortoise inched toward the finishing line. The air was filled with yells of "Nearly there, Tortoise, and you can do it, Hare." "I can't believe it," tweeted the birds. "Old Tortoise might actually win." His breath coming in great pants, Hare made leap after leap after leap. He stretched out his front paws, flattened his back, and flew through the air, but he was too late. Tortoise was already plodding slowly but surely over the finishing line. There was a moment of stunned silence. Then the animals cheered and danced and crowded around Tortoise, patting him on his shell and whooping for joy. Who would have thought it? What a day! Tortoise beat Hare. Hooray! Hooray! Here is the picture. And the moral is: slow and steady win the race. I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope it's gonna help you to fall asleep. I know you love those ASMR videos, so I decided to make you one. So let me know if you prefer me actually whispering or not. So sweet dreams, good night.